Every artist, filmmaker, and musician that you admire is a thief. Now, not in a criminal sense, but definitely in the creative sense. As Picasso famously said, "Good artists copy, but great artists steal." You've seen the wedding videos that feel like carbon copies. We're kind of living in that copy-paste culture right now. You got the epic drone shot, you got the cinematic score, you got the officiant that starts in, "We are gathered here today to celebrate." That's a terrible officiant. But anyway, you get the point. And you sit through the whole thing, well, at least half the thing, feeling so uninspired. But there is a way that you can break free from that rinse-repeat trap and create films that actually move people. So today's video, I want to walk through my 3-step framework to help you master any craft and also develop your own unique voice as a wedding videographer. Step 1 is to mimic to build the foundation. Now, there's a myth out there where some people believe that creativity means creating something out of thin air. But in reality, everything's a remix. Even legends like Tarantino, Steve Jobs, Spielberg, all learned from people before them. And you should too. But the secret isn't to just watch and mimic, it's to reverse engineer. You want to study shot composition. You want to study the lighting setup. You want to understand how they weaved moments together. What was the pacing? How did it feel like? How many seconds between each shot before they cut? It's about understanding and dissecting frame by frame how they achieved this outcome. What were their music choices? What dialogue are they using? What type of lights are they using to create this contrast? And the best filmmakers don't just copy and call it quits. They copy so that they can understand how to create it for themselves. And step 2 is where a ton of filmmakers fall off, which is where we kind of find ourselves in the current landscape that we're in. And that's to modify and adapt what you've learned. Most wedding videographers stop at the first stage of mimicking because it feels safe, because they've already started to receive some gratification for their works. Maybe they've even gotten paid for it. Maybe they've received some praise. And then they feel like, oh, well, if this is working, why do I need to fix anything? And over time, the more people that do that creates this entire collection and catalog of wedding videographers that are exactly the same. But if you want to stand out, you got to go beyond copying and start remixing. And this is where you start to blend inspiration with your own ideas. Take two completely different filmmakers and combine their styles into one project. For example, take someone like Sam Colder's high energy cuts and blend it with the soft intimacy of fine art weddings. Open up old wedding films that you've created, change the pacing, mix things up a bit, create something different, whether you slow it down or push the tempo up. Start building your own color grade, trusting that gut feeling with what feels right for you instead of just using what everyone else is doing just because if it's working for them, it can work for me. Aim to create a mood that reflects your voice and not someone else's. Experimenting with sound, experimenting with pacing, different musical genres. This is where you actually start to build a formula for your own film. And it's this level of experimentation that really creates that distinction within your work. You have to be willing to experiment. You have to be willing to go further than a lot of people generally do and put in that extra time. And honestly, it helps if you actually love what you do, if you're passionate about it, if you want to create work that just feels super original. And it really just takes that extra level of experimentation and trying new things. Not sticking to the status quo, but ditching the script, going off script, and trying to create something truly unique. Because once you do step 1 of mimicking, you go to step 2 to modify and adapt. Step 3 is where everything just starts to click. You stop asking how did they do that and you start asking, how can I do this in my way? Because you've mastered the basics, you've built the foundations. Now it's just about really developing and fine-tuning your signature style. And then every film you create feels like you. And couples will look to your work as something that's completely different. That is the purple cow of the wedding film world. That feels like a breath of fresh air that actually makes them feel something versus makes them question whether or not a wedding video is even worth it. And you know, sometimes the secret to actually getting better as a wedding filmmaker is taking a step away from the craft entirely. Taking a break, giving yourself some rest, because you can't learn a new skill, you can't grow creatively if you're constantly bogged down editing day in and day out. And that's where the good folks over at Uncut Gems have been a huge help for me and my business. And they've been kind enough to offer you guys 65% off on your first edit. If you head over to Uncut Gems and use my code WAYWARD65 at checkout, you can send all of your wedding films their way. They'll take care of all the heavy lifting, give you time back in your business, kick that backlog in the face, and give yourself something that every creative deserves, and that's rest. And here's some practical ways that you can really fine-tune your style as a wedding videographer. Number one is to review your past work and write down some consistencies that you notice within each film. What looks, sounds, and storytelling techniques show up consistently. Then write down 3 to 5 core themes that you want your films to embody, that you want them to emulate and feel when couples watch it. Whether it's nostalgic, whether it's warm, it's honest, it's genuine, or whether it's fun, it's inviting, it's quirky, it's cinematic, it's beautiful. Writing down these themes can help you just lock in on the actual style and theme that you want your work to represent. Build a mood board and a shot list from all of your favorite movies so that you can get into that zone, and then send your film to other people. Ask 3 creative friends to watch your film and give you some feedback. Ask them to tell you what it felt like, what could be missing, or was it interesting? Did it keep you engaged? Because becoming a better wedding filmmaker isn't about chasing the trends. It's about learning, it's about growing, evolving, showing up with intention, pushing yourself to create your best work, and not just copying other people just to make a quick buck. Because what we're noticing is a lot of people that are stuck in that copy-paste formula are honestly struggling. So if you've been feeling stuck, uninspired, or that everything's already been done, that's good, because that means that you're on the edge of growth. And the truth is, every great filmmaker and artist really stands on the shoulders of someone else. But what separates the good from the great is really what you do next. What you do after that other person has lifted you up, who has provided all the tools and resources to you, whether you continue to study, adapt what you've learned, and evolve year after year, or you remain stagnant because you feel like what you're doing is currently working and it's just not really in your best interest to switch things up. But the filmmakers that do adapt, that evolve over time, your work will become something that others just simply can't replicate because it's a part of your story. It's built on your perspective and your heart. In essence, it's really built on your intuition and your gut feeling as an artist. And honestly, you don't need to be original to get started. You just have to be honest about where you are and hungry to grow. So keep mimicking, keep modifying, keep mastering, because couples out there don't need the same old song and dance. They don't need the same cookie cutter wedding video. They need a new, fresh way of telling a powerful story. They really need your way of telling a story. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys found this video helpful, valuable in some way. If you did, it means so much if you consider liking and subscribing. Drop a comment below, and I'll see you next time.